Hello, my name is Father Volodymyr Zablotsky, and I welcome you to the 12th episode of the first ever online Orthodox Christian cooking show. And today, Matushka Gini is going to show you how to make a wonderful and most delicious roasted pork loin.
Hi, I'm actually going to show you a pork tenderloin, and along with Nancy Corral's Cranberry Relish, which really is fantastic. Okay, we already marinated a pork tenderloin, which is marinated in 3 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 bay leaves, and a teaspoon of peppercorns. We marinated this pork for about 3 hours. You can do it for a little more or a little less. You can use less salt if you'd like. We're going to take it out, and then we're going to put it on a cutting board because we don't want to contaminate our board underneath. And I'm going to dry it. It's always better to dry it before we season it. But remember, it already has the salt. And don't worry about the peppercorns on it. It's fine. If you don't like them, you can use ground pepper. It's up to you. So we're just going to dry this. I'm going to remove the bay leaves though. I'm going to put them in the pan, and then we're going to season them. Okay, we're going to season it now. I just wanted to clean up the mess a little bit. This way you can see it right in front of you. I'm using a infused garlic oil, and I'm just going to drizzle it. And then what I'm doing is I have here a half a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just going to divide it between the two. And it's fine, it looks like a lot, but we're going to move it all around both sides. This is a tablespoon of garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you'd like. Sometimes I like to use the powdered garlic. It gives a seasoning all throughout, you know, like a coverage. It's much better. And then we have a tablespoon of rosemary. I'm going to sprinkle that throughout. Then I'm going to rub. And you'll see with the garlic oil, now I'm also going to add the garlic to the back. The garlic oil and rosemary, and it's going to make a nice crust on the top. And you can add more oil if you'd like more oil. And then we're going to bake it in the oven. It's going to be on 375 for about 45 minutes. And just give me a second. Okay, here we go. This is what it looks like. I added a little bit more oil just to the top to really get those flavors in there. I'm going to put it in the oven. And we'll see it in 45 minutes. Don't open the door. Okay, to go with that pork, I want to make Nancy's cranberry relish. And I did a little bit of an alteration on it because her recipe calls for regular horseradish, and I have the red beet horseradish, and it also calls for Dijon mustard, and this is just a spicy mustard. I tried the recipe and it still came out great. So we'll give both recipes when we do this one on the website. It takes 1 cup of water, half cup of brown sugar, half cup of white sugar, and I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Okay, our sugar and water mixture is boiling now, so we're going to add the cranberries. And by the way, these cranberries were frozen. I bought them fresh and threw them in my freezer. They'll stay forever in there. So they're frozen. I'm just going to add them. And now all we have to do is let these come to a boil, and then we're going to cook them 10 minutes on a full boil, stirring occasionally. Okay, just so you know, it's just starting to boil, but you hear that popping sound? That's the cranberry starting to break open. So if you're hearing that sound, it's okay. It's rolling boil now. We're going to let it cook 10 minutes. Okay. Of course it doesn't want to pop right when I want. Okay, the cranberries are ready. They cooked 10 minutes. They look really nice. See, they've thickened and they've broken open. Now, I'm going to put it, you need to put it in a sealed container so it keeps cooking and yet it comes to room temperature. I am using a plastic container. If you have a glass one with a good lid, would be probably better. I just don't have one. Anyway, that's it, and we're going to seal it, and it'll come to room temperature, and then we'll add in the rest of our ingredients. Okay, the pork's been in 45 minutes. It's to an internal temperature of 145. We're going to pull it out. Ooh, it's a little heavy. Oh, it looks beautiful, though. Okay, we're going to put this on the cutting board to cool. I'm going to put foil over it, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. And that way all the juices will go back in. Okay, during the time that the roast was cooking, the chutney was cooling, or the relish, whichever you'd like to call it. Anyway, now that it's cool, we're going to add in our mustard. And our horseradish. This one is the horseradish and beet mixture. So I added an extra tablespoon, so there's 4 tablespoons. If this was the white one, just plain, you'd only add 3. And it really gives it a nice flavor. A little spicy, sweet. It's a little sour. It has all the elements, and it tastes great with pork. And that's it. Okay, the meat's sat about 10 minutes. We're going to undo it. I'll show you what it looks like. The juices that went back into the meat, and we're going to cut it, and give me just 1 second on my fork, and I'm going to cut it kind of thin, and there might be a little pink in it. At 145 there is pink, and if you are used to the old way of cooking, there would be no pink, but new regulations, the new way they cook meat, it's safe to eat it a little pink. 145 degrees.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the show, when I get to taste this beautiful and wonderful food. The pork smells really good. I really wish you were here, but let me just try both pork and relish. The pork is very tender, and horseradish in a relish is really has this wonderful kick, and it's all together is beautiful piece of meat and beautiful dish. So if you liked our show, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll see you next week.